Opinions stated by various contributors to the Money and Business Show and related programs are not to be considered as endorsed by Radio Shalom, its employees. Visitors to this program are urged to use their own discernment to draw their own conclusions. Please read your prospectus and consult with your own investment advisor.
Live from the studios of Radio Shalom, 1650 AM in Montreal, Canada, the city of Joie de Vivre, the world capital of culinary variety, and the home of the Montreal Canadiens. This is the Money and Business Show with your host, Samuel Izerzer. Every week, Samuel and his guests discuss money, investments, financial services, and the world economy. Over the next hour, you can have your questions about business and personal finances answered. So call 514-738-4100 extension 200 to speak with Samuel and his guests. And now, here is the host of the Money and Business Show, Samuel Izerzer.
Money, money, and business. An estimated 1 million U.S. citizens living in Canada will fill out extra forms in 2012-2013. The Internal Revenue Services, the IRS, announced new rules and procedures this summer to help dual citizens with their U.S. filing obligations. Finance Minister Jim Flaherty told the IRS, "We told the U.S. government that the vast majority of Canadians targeted were honest, hardworking, and law-abiding individuals, and they listened. The only transgression of these dual citizens has been failing to file IRS paperwork that they were unaware they were required to file. The softer IRS approach relaxes the filing requirements for taxpayers outside of the U.S. and provides additional relief for those who have contributed to registered retirement saving plans or registered retirement income funds in Canada. Under U.S. laws, its citizens are required to file a federal income tax return, as well as reports on foreign bank and financial accounts every year, no matter where they reside. Most countries, including Canada, have a residency-based taxation system rather than a citizen-based system. In the majority of cases, U.S. citizens don't actually end up owning U.S. federal tax due to offsetting foreign tax credits. But for many, however, the fear of being assessed harsh penalties on late-filed forms, which can range from a willful failure to file penalty starting at $100,000 to non-willful failure to file penalty of $10,000 per violation, was enough to keep many dual citizens or U.S. citizens residing in other countries from coming forward. Today, live from its headquarters in Montreal, the RSM Richter Chamberlain, is Robert Chaillet, a partner in the tax division and is an expert in tax accounting, especially for U.S. citizen. And also what we have Jacinthe Marquis, also senior managed U.S. tax expert. Today live on the Money Business Show, Radio Shalom, CJRS 1650 AM. Welcome to our business headquarters. My name is Samuel Izerzer. I am the host of the Money and Business Show. Stay tuned because we have a great show today. And specifically, if you have any questions, please give us a call, 514-738-4100, extension 200. Also, at the same time, if you don't want to call, which I understand, please email me at the Money and Business Show and Radio Shalom. moneyandbusinessshow@gmail.com. Sorry about that. Again, I'll repeat it, moneyandbusinessshow@gmail.com. If you have any questions, email me and I'll forward it to our expert. Today we have Robert Chaillet, a partner in our in the tax division, where he leads the U.S. tax team. Robert's clientele is primarily composed of accounting and legal firm based in Canada, who call upon his leading-edge expertise in taxation to support their clients. With over 20 years of experience, Robert offers advice to individuals and companies in the field of U.S. and cross-border tax planning. Specifically income tax, sales, and and estate taxes. He also offers services in connection with the preparation of tax returns for American companies and the preparation of Canadian, U.S. and tax returns for individual services and expatriates. In 2004, Robert founded canada1, a firm specialized in U.S. tax services for Canadians, which RSM Richter Chamberlain joined forces in 2010. Previously, he was a U.S. tax partner for a large accounting firm. How are you, Robert? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Thank you for having me on your show.
Good, good, good. We have a bit of I think we just have a bit of an echo. Sorry about that, Robert. So how are you?
Doing pretty good. We have a lot going on with our Quebec budget from yesterday and the U.S. election from a few days ago. So yeah, we have a lot of work in front of us.
Yes, I know, and also I know you wanted to take a trip to Atlantic City about a couple of weeks ago, but I don't think that could have worked out, right?
Yeah, basically, you know, we tend to work maybe a little bit more than we should, according to our doctors, I suppose, and just planned a little weekend in Atlantic City, but I guess weather was not so good for us, so we had to cancel our little trip. But looking back, we can see that a lot of people, at least in the New Jersey area, New York area, are in positions where it's much harder for them than it is for us. So our thoughts are with them to go through this tough time.
A very tough time, because I know last week we have an assemblyman last week from New Jersey, and he gave us a bird's view of what's really happening, and it's very bad out there. But the Americans are very proud, especially people from New Jersey, and they're getting they're getting off the ground and things are getting a little bit better. But also I have online is Jacinthe Marquis, joined the U.S. tax practice of RSM Richter in the fall of 2012. She advises individuals and families who, by reason of their assets, employment, and business activities or immigration status, bear responsibilities and opportunities vis-a-vis the U.S. authorities. She has previously spent a decade with the private client tax practice of Sampson, Belair, Deloitte, and Touche. How are you?
I'm doing great, Samuel. Thank you for having us on the show. It's very exciting.
Yes, I know it's very exciting, because I always wanted to do a show concerning U.S. citizens living. You know what I didn't know, Robert? There's just so many Americans living in Canada. I didn't know 1 million Americans are living in Canada.
Actually, this statistics came about probably, to my attention about a year ago, all in light of the UBS scandal that occurred in the U.S. UBS scandal was basically the IRS finding out that a lot of U.S. citizens had money with UBS in Switzerland, and they were hiding their assets from the IRS. And at the same time, the IRS pretty much came up with statistics showing number of taxpayers residing outside the U.S. and but not the IRS, but the Department of State. And the idea was that there was approximately 1 million U.S. citizens living in Canada. And at the same time, I just looked out for myself, and there is approximately 3 million Canadians living in the U.S. So that's quite interesting as well.
That's I was just a little surprised when I saw that. And I said, I'll put it on in the intro, and I said, wow, that's a lot of people living. But the aftermath of the U.S. election, we just had one a couple of weeks ago. The anticipated changes to the income and estate tax rates effective 2013. You want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot going on that front. I guess anyone, listening to your show, listening to, reading newspaper and watching the news network, it's hard not to hear of the fiscal cliff. The U.S., it's all over the news. U.S. Congress is, spending pretty much all their energy looking at the fiscal cliff. And the fiscal cliff, from our perspective, is simply the fact that there will be, it's scheduled for January 1st, a lot of what we refer to as the Bush tax cuts from 2001 that will expire on December 31st, 2012, and will create a significant amount of additional taxes to reappear in the Internal Revenue Code, which is a U.S. tax law. As a result of that, combined with scheduled expense cuts from the U.S. governments, there will be a lot of money taken out of the U.S. economy. And as a result of this, there is a fear that there could be some recession, or definitely a slowdown, caused by all this money taken out of the economy. So basically what's going on is, as I was saying, the Bush tax cuts from 2001 do expire on December 31st, 2012, which would result in a significant tax increases for individuals mostly, in the sense where the top tax rate will go up from 35% to 39.6%. In addition to this, there will be a scheduled increase in tax rates for dividends, which are currently at 15% and would go all the way up to 35% for dividend, or maybe even 39.6%. So that's a significant increase and makes it a new context where U.S. Congress is trying to make these tax increases not as steep as they currently looked or appear to be.
Do you think they're going to work out a deal by December 31st? I'm a skeptic here. I always say that, especially with Congress, they're always positioning, with their own interests. But do you think that, possibly that we're going to go into 2013 without a deal?
My personal view on this is that the answer is yes, that we will go into 2013 without a deal. However, since the tax rates for 2013 would be so much higher, it would be easy for Congress to come up with retroactive tax cuts. So I'm not that scared that even though if we get into 2013 without new rules in place, there's still time early in 2013 to come back and say, well, we'll reduce the tax rates on such and such income retroactive to January 1. So it doesn't sound good. However, now that I've said this, I'm also one, because the same rule expired on December 31st, 2010, and I was also one to say that after a legislative election in November 2010, that there was no way Congress would come up with a bill, and they did come up with a bill on December 17th. So who knows what's going to happen this time, but I'm skeptical like you are.
And the financial market may not like it, so...
I'll let Jacinthe on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously, this uncertainty is bringing about a lot of, I would call them strange or reactionary behavior around in the market. We're getting tons of phone calls of clients and others, non-clients, who are just asking whether they should just dispose of all of their portfolio investments to trigger gains, pay the tax in 2012 while the rates are lower. We don't yet know how high they will go, effective in 2013. But most people would bet that they could not be any lower than they are now. So I think we're seeing a ripple effect on the financial markets right now, where the stock prices are going down for obviously a number of reasons, some of them related to political instability and a whole number of things, but some of which are probably attributable to the fact that a lot of Americans out there are just triggering gains. And effectively...
which is a good thing. Usually gains are a good thing, and they want to have these tax gains for the end of the year. But it seems like the Americans living here in Canada are very worried what's going to happen for 2013. This is what I'm getting a feel from you.
I think there is worry across the board. Uncertainty is never good, whether it be related to U.S. taxes or Canadian taxes. We just had a Quebec budget yesterday. Uncertainty is not good for the financial markets. So I think politicians are or will be working hard to provide some light to try and reassure people so that those behavioral gaps come to an end eventually, and sooner rather than later would probably be preferable.
Good. Jacinthe, stay on the line. Robert, stay on the line. We have a lot more questions to ask concerning, if you're an American living in the United States, have you filled out the proper forms and taxes? If you have any questions, again, you can give us a call or email me, moneyandbusinessshow@gmail.com. Again, my name is Samuel Izerza for the Money and Business Show on Radio Shalom, CJRS 1650 AM in Montreal. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
'Cause I get 1,000 hugs.